Alright, now let's go ahead and implement or write these comparison and logical operators in Java. So I have the ordinary class template which we use to write any Java program. So first of all, let me go ahead and declare two variables. I'll say int a equal to 3 and I'll say int b equal to 2. So let me use a comparison operator first in between these two variables a and b. So I'll say system.out.println, just to see the result of this comparison operator, which is going to be a boolean type value, and I will say let's say a is greater than 3, right? So let's go ahead and let's compile this to see if it's actually working or not. So right, now let me go ahead and execute or compile the file first actually. So I'll say comparison logical Java, sorry. So it says that file not found, so obviously I have given the wrong name to this Java file. I think it's comparison. Okay, there's a typo there, right? Let's compile it now. Right, so the compilation is done, so let me execute the file. The name of the class is operator demo. I'm sorry for that notification right there. Well, let's go ahead and execute that, and it says class not found, so the name of the class is also wrong. Okay, so it's operators demo. Right, so there we go. It has actually printed false. So what I did right now is I have checked if a is greater than 3. Well, I can replace this with b actually, and let's actually go ahead and compile this again and let's see the result for that. Right, Java operators demo. So it says true right there. So what I did right here is I'm actually checking if a is greater than b. So the value of a is 3 and b is 2, since I've already declared and initialized these variables, and 3 is greater than 2 is a true statement. So I'm printing the result for this comparison operator right here, and since the result is true, it's printed out true. And in the same way, if I modify these two values, for example, if I put it the other way around, let's say 2 and 3 right there, it's going to give us obviously what it's going to give is false. You know that, right? So let's go ahead and see. And so again, I've given the wrong name, so yeah, there you go. False is the result printed right there. So in the same way, you can do you can replace this into a less than symbol to actually perform a less than operation, comparison operation between two variables or values, and then you can also, let's try and actually use the equality check. All right. So in order to do the equality check, you use the double equal to symbol right here. You just don't put a single equal to, you use a double equal to like this, because notice here that a single equal to like this is actually used to assign a value to a variable. So in order for us to actually do the comparison check, we need to use two equal to symbols like that. So this two equal to symbol actually indicates the comparison check. It actually indicates the comparison operator that we are talking about, which we use for equality check, right? So let's go ahead and let's compile this, and let's actually see the result for that, right? So it says false because obviously 2 is not equal to 3. So if I obviously change b to 2 and compile this again and run this again, it's going to say true because 2 is equal to 2. Right, great. So that's all about the equality check using the double equal to symbol, and then there is also this greater than or equal to, which we already discussed in the previous video tutorial. So let me apply that and let's compile and rerun the program. It says true. That's because 2 is actually equal to 2. But if I say something like 1 here, it's going to return false because 1 greater than or equal to 2 is actually a false statement. Right, false it says. Great. So yeah, that's all about how you can apply these comparison operators alone in a Java program. And now let's talk about how to use these comparison operators along with logical operators so that we can combine multiple comparison operators and we can frame a statement which contains basically more than 2 comparison operators, right? So yeah, let's say we have a is greater than b. Okay, let's say we have a equal to 1 and b equal to 2, and let's say we have two more variables. Let's say c equal to 19 and d equal to, I don't know, 10, let's say. And now we have, let's say, two statements or two comparisons for us. You have a greater than b, and you also have b less than d. A greater than b and b less than d. Okay, let's say you have these two comparison statements, and you want to execute or you want to write them in a single statement or in a single line. So obviously we will be using these logical operators to combine these two things. So what we'll be doing is, actually let me make this a comment, and now let me actually try and write or try and combine these two things by using a logical operator, right? Let me use logical AND firstly, and then we'll move on to logical OR, and then we will be talking about logical NOT operator, right? So yeah, let's say you have let me print out the value actually, system.out.println, and let me print out a greater than b and logical AND operator, which is this. This is the logical AND operator in Java programming. So two ampersands together without a space is a logical operator, which indicates the logical AND operator in Java programming language. And it might vary for different programming languages. There may be different symbols, which indicates different logical operators. So in Java, it's two ampersands like that. In Python, it's different. We'll be talking about that in the next video. So A is greater than B and B is less than D. So basically, I'm combining these two comparison operators together with a logical AND operator. So this is going to be a Boolean value, and this is also going to be a Boolean value. So I'm combining these two Boolean values with a logical AND operator. Right, so what would be the result of this? A greater than B, it's nothing but 1 greater than 2, it's a false statement, and B greater than D is 2 greater than D, 2 greater than 10 is also a false statement. So if there are two false statements at both the sides, both the left hand side and the right hand side of the logical AND operator, we know that the result is going to be false, because for an AND operator, both right hand side and the left hand side should be a true. Only then it will return a true. In all the other cases, it will return a false. So this is going to be a false. So let's cross check actually. Let's compile that. Java C comparison logical.java and then Java operators demo. Yeah, there we go. False is the statement right there. So in the same way, if you actually use an OR operator here, what would be the result if we use an OR operator? So as we have already discussed, this is going to be a false, and this is also going to be false, because B is not greater than D and A is also not greater than B. So both the sides of this logical operator is actually a false. So we have discussed in the previous video that while using a logical OR operator, if either of the right hand side or the left hand side is a true value, then this logical operator will immediately return true. But in all the other cases, or let's say if both the values which is on the either side of this logical operator is a false, then it will return a false. So in this case, it's going to return a false. So let's go ahead and compile that, and let's see it ourselves with our own eyes. So there you go, false it says. So let's actually change this to greater than to less than symbol. And now you can see that this comparison operator actually returns a false because A is not greater than B. But this thing over here, it says B is less than D, which is 2 is less than 10, which is a correct statement, which is a true statement. So since this right hand side is a true statement, the logical OR operator returns a true. Let's check it ourselves. Oh, sorry. Compiled, and we'll run it. So there we go, true is the result. So that's all about this logical OR operator. And now let's use this logical NOT operator that we are talking about. So let's say I include a NOT like this in the brackets, NOT followed by brackets, and inside these brackets I am mentioning the same logical operator OR along with these two comparison operators. So you know that the result of this highlighted part is a true. We have just seen it by ourselves that the result is true. So if I apply a not, it's going to reverse this Boolean value, which means true is going to get converted into a false. Right? So let's go ahead and let's compile that, and okay, it actually says that not is not cannot find symbol. Yeah, obviously in Java, not, the keyword not is not actually used to represent the logical not operator. Instead we use an exclamatory mark like that. So this exclamatory mark is used to represents not operator, logical not operator in Java. In Python it's different. Again, we'll be talking about that in the next video. So this is actually what represents the logical not operator. So let's give it another try and let's compile it. And this time there's no error, which means we have fixed it. So let's run it, and it says false. So this value right here is all true. So we have used this not operator to reverse that true. So it gave us false. So instead of all this stuff, you can directly say not of followed by a Boolean value. Let's say I give not of false. Let's compile this and see. It's going to be true, as you know. Yeah, there you go. True is the value right there. So yeah, we have seen how to use firstly comparison operators, and then we also saw how to use these comparison operators and how to combine these comparison operators together using a logical operator. And all this we have seen in Java, and in the next video we'll be moving on to Python, and we'll be doing the same on Python as well.